Hello and welcome to another Mr. Carter Science Special. In this video we'll be looking at a very specific example of homeostasis, thermoregulation, and in particular how your body will try to warm you up when you are cold. Although specifically for the AQA specification, this is the same for many other specifications including the Edxcel International GCSEs. So by the end of this video, all of you can describe the role of the skin in temperature regulation with reference to shivering, sweating and vasoconstriction. As I've already mentioned, thermoregulation is a very specific example of homeostasis. And homeostasis is the maintenance of a body's internal environment. Thermoregulation is the maintenance of a body's internal temperature. In mammals and birds, that means maintaining 37 degrees C. In fact, that's the optimum temperature in many living organisms for their enzymes. The control of your body temperature relies on the thermoregulatory centre in the hypothalamus of the brain, which is just here, just above the pituitary gland. And the hypothalamus contains receptor cells that measure the temperature of the blood. If the temperature of the blood rises too high, above 37 degrees, then enzymes are going to be denatured. Chemical reactions can't take place and the body's cells are going to die. If the temperature falls too low, then the enzymes will work too slowly and the chemical reactions don't take place fast enough. So again, the body's cells will begin to die. Both are very, very dangerous. So what actually happens if, like this person, you are too cold and your body needs to warm you up? Well, one of the most obvious things that will happen is shivering. And shivering occurs when muscle cells contract and relax rapidly. The energy to do this comes from respiration. And respiration in muscle cells will release some energy as heat. So the muscles will heat up and they in turn will heat up the blood that flows through them and so heat up the rest of the organs and the rest of the body. You may also notice that hairs on the surface of the skin will stand up. This is to trap more air because trapped air is an insulator and therefore less heat is lost through convection to the surrounding air in the atmosphere close to your body. You may also notice the arterioles, which carry blood to capillaries under the surface of the skin. And you can see some arterioles here. These are blood vessels that are quite thick and quite wide. They're not quite as wide as a full artery, but they are certainly a lot wider than the capillaries that are running very close to your skin. When you're too cold, the arterioles will contract and narrow. This is known as vasoconstriction or vasoconstriction. And less blood will flow near to the skin's surface, and this means that less heat is going to be lost by radiation. You may also notice under the skin that you have here a number of sweat glands. When you're cold, the sweat glands will stop producing sweat, so there'll be less sweat on the surface of your skin and less heat lost by evaporation from your skin. One last thing to notice on this diagram before we move on is this little muscle here, which is a hair erector muscle, and when it contracts it pulls the hair muscles to stand erect and therefore trap more air. When you're cold, you may also be tempted to put on a silver foil blanket or wear some clothes. The silver foil blankets are particularly popular with athletes, perhaps people who've just finished a long race like a marathon. And silver foil blankets work on a physics principle to keep you warm. Silver foil will reflect the heat that has been lost from your body as radiation. So that radiation energy is hitting the silver blanket and being reflected back towards your body, therefore warming you. Shiny silver colours will reflect more heat than a matte black colour. So that's why the blankets are a shiny silver colour. It's also noticeable that shiny silver colours will radiate less heat to the outside environment than a matte black colour. But more commonly you'll see people who are cold putting on clothes and blankets. Now coats and clothes will trap more air within their fibres, and as we've already mentioned, trapped air is an insulator. It slows the movement of heat energy, so less heat is lost by convection. Let's have a quick look at some exam questions. Firstly, the hypothalamus is involved in regulating body temperature. The hypothalamus is part of which organ? That's correct. It's A, the brain. What about part 2? Explain how shivering can help a person regulate their body temperature. And this is 2 marks. Well, here's the answers. Your muscles will contract, which produces heat due to respiration, and this heat energy will warm the body. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and in the comments below, let me know what you've enjoyed and what you've learnt from this video. Thank you very much for your time.